What does a workers' compensation attorney do? Our attorneys at Morgan & Amp, Morgan assist employees who had been injured on the job and have been denied their employees' comp claims. Using our right advocating for workers, we assist them navigate the technique of attempting to get better the cash they would possibly rightfully be owed. Our attorneys manage on-the-job harm claims involving, however now not constrained to, the following: muscular injuries, damaged bones, torn ligaments, torn rotator cuffs, and herniated discs from lifting, pushing, or different actions, sickness from publicity to toxins, which includes occupational ailments like mesothelioma or black lung, head accidents like concussions or stressful talent accidents from falling objects or falls, tendinitis or different repetitive action injuries, construction accidents, hearing loss or damage, cold and warmness stress or burn accidents from accidents like electrocution, and assorted accidents to the back, spinal cord, shoulder, eyes, knees, neck, hip, respiratory organs, ankles, wrists, feet, and hands. Third-party claims. Although workers' compensation is generally no fault, personnel injured on the job through merchandise or equipment ought to sue the producer of these objects to gain compensation in court docket. These accidents may additionally be the end result of unavoidable accidents, hazardous working environments, insufficient training, or misguided machinery. Under workers' compensation, however, personnel are no longer required to show the motive that their harm occurred, as workers' compensation is a no-fault device that compensates injured people barring regard to negligence or fault. Who is eligible for filing a workers' compensation claim? Workers' compensation eligibility relies upon various factors, which includes what kingdom the employee's job is in, if the worker works for the federal government, and even the enterprise. All in all, most personnel are protected by means of a workers' compensation sketch of some sort. For example, with some exceptions, in Florida employers who have 4 or extra employees, and building groups with even simply 1 employee, ought to furnish coverage, and in Georgia corporations with 3 or greater personnel have to supply insurance, with some responsible for subcontractors' employees. In a kingdom like New York, genuinely each enterprise need to provide insurance. In Massachusetts, the necessities are similar, though there are greater exceptions than in New York. The majority of accidental injuries, diseases, illnesses, accidents, and deaths going on in the administrative center are included by means of workers' compensation laws. Importantly, due to the fact workers' compensation is a no-fault system, people are now not required to show fault for their accidents to get better benefits. In many states, an employee need to file administrative center damage to his or her company inside 30 days of the accident. The worker has a positive quantity of time after the preliminary damage record to file a workers' compensation declare. In some states that's 2 years. When first reporting the accident, the injured employee must furnish particular details, such as names of witnesses, location of accident, cause of accident, and time and date of the accident and injury. What is a workers' comp independent medical examination? Next, the injured employee will are trying to find an on-the-spot clinical assessment to decide the extent of their damage by way of an approved, authorized scientific issuer of their employer's selecting. The specifics of this may also be distinctive relying on the state. If an injured employee seeks a second clinical professional's opinion, relying on their country, there should be sure restrictions on this. For example, in Florida, employees can solely change physicians once. To get hold of workers' compensation, injured people ought to put up to an unbiased clinical examination or insurance plan scientific exam. An IME, in theory, clarifies the worker's scientific situation and determines if the damage was once brought about through work-related activity. While the IME is supposed to supply and correct analysis and advocate suitable treatment, insurance plan corporations frequently use this as a tool to restrict payouts and liability. A signed medical practitioner can work in tandem with insurance plan groups to shield the monetary pastimes of each parties, once in a while with the aid of denying the existence of an harm or wrongfully clearing an worker to return to work. To make sure that you are receiving the proper prognosis, it is essential to have a skilled lawyer assist you through the process. Appealing a workers' comp denial. An injured employee's declare for advantages may additionally be denied if the insurance plan company denies that an harm happened on the job, accuses the worker of fraud or misrepresentation of an injury, and/or blames a worker's damage on a pre-existing condition. If a worker's declare is